White flags, white tissue paper. Arsenal are back down. I back down. Humbled real quick as Viktor Gyökeres chooses Arsenal over Man United. And the worst thing about this is Arsenal might not even be choosing Viktor Gyökeres over Sesko. This could be a sloppy seconds vibe, which, listen, I still want Viktor Gyökeres. But let's be real. He has made his decision and he has said he is given priority to Arsenal. And I cannot be mad at him. I just have to keep it real and be honest. This time last week, I was pulling up with Nerf guns. Nerf gun pumpies. Double dual action pumpies. Nerf. Michael Jackson meme settings. You man said lower that. Yeah, Flex, lower that. Yeah. Arsenal fans were in the mentions telling me, listen, we got cannons. You can't go ban for ban with us. I said, listen, them cannons have not been going for a long time. They have not been active for a long time. Well, Viktor Gyökeres says that they are. He says that they are. So a little bit of a humbling there. And at the end, and look, at the same time, I understand why. If it's true, if the reports are true that he's given priority to Arsenal, I completely understand why. Why wouldn't he? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Arsenal going in the right direction. They're a player or two off of where they really need to be. This is just you're into at Arsenal with that project. You're into cherry on top vibes. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkling the hundreds of thousands on. That's where you're at. You know what I mean? And Arsenal need to get it right. There's a lot they need to do to make sure of it. I'm not saying they're guaranteed to win the league, but if you're a player and you know you can go there and be the pivotal part, one last piece to the jigsaw kind of vibe, you're going to want to go there. I get it. The Amorim thing clearly might not be enough. But it's a mess. And actually, what's crazy is actually, Arsenal fans, do you even want him? You know what I mean? Obviously, it's looking like you're going to get Sesko. But do Arsenal, I don't mean you guys, the fans. I mean Arsenal, the football club, Barata and them, man. Do they actually want Gyökeres? Because Gyökeres can profess his love to Arsenal and say he's giving priority to them. But there's two things with this mess that's going on in sporting, because it involves Man United as well. So I've been covering it, you know, intently. So I'm bang up to date with what's going on with their sporting, the sporting president, with Gyökeres' agent, with Gyökeres himself, obviously putting out Instagram caption saying he'll speak when the time is right. There's a lot of false news. You know what I mean? You got the president of sporting saying they won't be blackmailed. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not going to be bullied into making decisions that's not best for their football club. So Arsenal, apparently, I read latest that, you know, the talks are on hold. Do you know what I mean? The talks are at a freeze while they work out what's going on. So Arsenal, you know, could still end up getting Benjamin Sesko, and then that means that Gyökeres doesn't get the move that he's apparently given priority to. So how mad would that be? In all this saga, Arsenal still might not even try and get him. It's all about money. You know what I mean? Arsenal fans, I know you guys are saying get Gyökeres. A lot of you have done when I've done the Sesko video as well. You know, I agree with you. You want someone ready to go now. Bad boy striker, knows where the back of the net is, experience. You don't have to. I think Arsenal are too far into this to get a project striker. Get someone that they need to kind of nurture and, you know, build up to a certain point. With Gyökeres, I know it's the Portuguese league, but if you want to slash the goals in half, that's still enough. You know what I mean? For the Premier League tax, I think you lot should get someone ready-made. I think Gyökeres would bang. Sesko's a very good player, though. He is. He's a very good player. I'm not saying he'll be terrible for you. I think he'll be good as well. But the money that is going to be for him, you know, it's all about, is that going to be viable versus the money that it's going to be for a 27-year-old, which I 100% get. It's not probably good business to spend 100 million on this 27-year-old. There's no resale value, and also he's probably not worth that in Gyökeres. But Sporting are doing the thing of, well, we know we're not going to sell him for 100 million euros because that's not, you know, realistic with him being 27. I think the president said in that long ass monologue that he wrote that, you know, expecting a 27-year-old to leave Portugal for 100 million euros doesn't happen. You know, last time that was happening, I want to say what? Who was 100 million euros? João Felix? He was 100 million, 120 maybe, weren't he? From Benfica to Atletico. I remember when that move got done. What about João Neves? Weren't he big P's like that? 80, 90 million, something like that? But, you know, and these are young guys, though, is what my point is. These are young players that are worth that. When you're looking at When you're looking at older players, 27, 28 and that, you know, actually Darwin Núñez was the best part of 70, 80 million euros, pounds, if you want, you know, and he's younger. Again, he was like 22, 23, I want to say, when he left um Benfica, I think it was, isn't it? He was at, so what was he at Porto? I can't remember. I think it was Benfica. Anyway, what my point is that the president at Sporting is right to say at 27 years of age, we can't expect that type of money. But at the same time, he's also saying he's not leaving for 50 plus 10 in add-ons. Do you know what I mean? He ain't leaving for that as well. That's too cheap. So is that scaring off Arsenal? Which is the better option? You know, and I just still feel that that's why, you know, it's not that no one's in for him. You know, there was this misconception that, like, if Viktor Gyökeres was that good, why is not everybody in for him? I mean, you can clearly see why everyone's not in for him. Nobody knows what the flipping price is going to be. And he's vexed at his camp, and it's messy. You know, you're looking at Hugo Ekitike as well, not so much Arsenal, but in general, 100 million euro price tag. You're looking at Victor Osimhen. Let's be real. This is the second transfer window in a row where he's been close to agree in terms to go to Saudi, and it collapses. So it's saga. It's not easy to get. And then, not that Arsenal have been involved in this, but the thing for Delap, when it was just a release clause, 30 million, good opportunity, everyone put their bids on the table and he chose. So the rest of the strikers, it's a strikers market. Look at Sesko. Arsenal have been umming and ahhing about the price. So there's still no real movement on it, but it was significant. And I think it is significant that, you know, Sesko has chosen Arsenal. He has. Let's be real. I do believe that. But Arsenal might not choose him. That's where it gets interesting, you know, because what is the right fee to pay for him? 60 million pounds bargain, 70 million pounds. I think you pay that. 75 million pounds is probably I'd say probably the cutoff point. And one thing about Arsenal as well, let's be real, and I can sympathize with the Arsenal fans. You lot don't want to hear no scrimping money and this, that, and the other. I do hear the Arsenal fans are like, listen, pay the money. You lot haven't spent on this position in the summer last year. You haven't spent on this position in January of this year. So we don't want to hear no, like, you know what I mean, cost cutting exercise. Spend the money properly. You've got it. You put down a bid. I know it was lower, or reportedly 40 odd million for Ollie Watkins. You know what I mean? You've got money there. You've got P's there. You're apparently interested in Rodrigo, 80, 90 million. I know he seems happy in Real Madrid. That probably won't happen. But again, you're at the table for the big deals. So give the fans what they want, man. Give them their striker. They've been waiting long enough, and you've cut corners, and you've decided to wait. You decided to wait for Benjamin Sesko, it looked like. And now you're not sure whether to go. So Arsenal need to get this right. The fans, I get it. You fans ain't going to tolerate if they get this decision wrong. There's too much on the line. You finished third. So you finished second, 3 times in a row. You got to get over the line. City ain't messing about. Liverpool ain't messing about. You got to get this striker signing right. Who will it be? Gyökeres or Sesko? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments, man. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the Football Flex as well if you haven't done so already. I'm out of here. Peace.